Here we are. We are about to act out for you the story of Antigone. That thin little creature sitting all alone, staring straight ahead, seeing nothing, is Antigone. She's thinking. She's thinking that the instant I finish telling you who's who and what's what in this play, she will burst forth as the dark, tense, serious girl who's about to rise up and face the whole world alone. Alone against the world and against Creon, her uncle, the king. Another thing she's thinking is this. She's going to die. Antigone is young. She would much rather live than die. And yet, there's no help for it. When you're on the side of the gods against the tyrant, of man against the state, of purity against corruption. In short, when your name is Antigone, there is only one part you can play. And she must play hers through to the end. Mind you, Antigone doesn't know all of these things I'm telling you about herself. I know them because it's my business to know them. That's what a Greek chorus is for. All that she knows is that Creon won't allow her dead brother to be buried, and that despite Creon, she must bury him. See, Antigone doesn't really think. She acts. She doesn't reason. She feels. That young man is talking to Antigone's sister, Ismene. The gay and golden Ismene. He is Haman, the king's son, Creon's son. Antigone and he are engaged to be married. He likes sports, competition. He likes dancing. He likes women, too. But anyone would think that she would be the one he would go for. Look at Ismene again. She's certainly much more beautiful than Antigone. But, well, there was a ball one night. Ismene wore a new evening dress. She was absolutely radiant. Haman danced every dance with her. And yet that same night, before the ball was over, Haman went in search of Antigone. Found her sitting alone, just like that, with her arms clasped around her knees. And Haman asked her to marry him. It didn't seem to surprise Antigone in the least. She looked up at him out of those solemn eyes of hers, smiled sort of sadly, and said, yes. That was all. Well, here is Haman expecting to marry Antigone. He won't, of course. He didn't know when he asked her to marry him that the earth wasn't meant to hold a husband of Antigone's, and that this princely distinction was to earn for him no more than the right to die sooner than he otherwise might have done. That gray-haired, powerfully built man, sitting alone, lost in thought with his page at his side, is Creon, the king. His face is lined. He's tired. He practices the difficult art of a leader of men. When he was younger, when Oedipus was king and Creon was no more than the king's brother-in-law, he was quite different. He loved music. He was a collector of rare manuscripts. He was a kind of patron of the arts. He would while away whole afternoons in the antique shops of the city of Thebes. But Oedipus died. Oedipus' sons died, and Creon's moment had come. He had to roll up his sleeves and take over the kingdom. I'll tell you something about Creon. He has a tendency to fool himself. This leader of men, this brilliant debater and logician, likes to believe that if it were not for his sense of responsibility, he would gladly step right down from the throne and go back to collecting manuscripts. The fact is, he loves being king. He's an artist who has always believed that he could govern just as well as any man of action could, and that no god nor any man can tell him what is best for the common people. Creon has a wife, a queen. Her name is Eurydice. There she sits, the gracious lady with the sewing, next to the nurse who brought up the two girls. Eurydice will go on sewing all through the play, till the time comes for her to go to her room and die. She's a good woman, a worthy, loving soul, but she's absolutely no help to her husband. No, Creon has to face the music alone. Alone with his page, who's too young to be of any help. The others, well, let's see. That pale young man playing the piano is the messenger. Later on, he will come running in to tell us the news of Haman's death. He has a premonition of catastrophe. That's what he's brooding over as he plays. That's why he won't mingle with the others. Over here, 3 red-faced card players. They're the guards. Policemen. Eternally innocent, no matter what crimes are committed. Eternally indifferent. For nothing that happens really matters to them. They're quite prepared to arrest anybody, including Creon himself, should the order be given by a new leader. Well, that's the lot. Now for the play.